Welcome to this class. So in the last class we have seen how to solve the a two-dimensional parabolic partial differential equation which is highly well posed, and we have solved we have looked into the complete solution of 3 problems. In each problem we have considered 3 different type of boundary conditions. In the first problem we encountered the Dirichlet boundary conditions. In the second problem we encountered the Neumann boundary condition. In the third problem we have taken care of Robin mixed boundary conditions, and we have seen how the eigenvalues and eigenfunctions will be defined in these cases, and how the complete solution will be obtained by evaluating the final constant Cn in the governing equation in the solution by using the orthogonal property of the eigenfunctions. Now in this class what we will be looking into, will be looking into an actual problem, a real valued problem which will be ill-posed problem. Then we will be converting this problem into an well-posed problem, and we will see how the solution will emerge. Okay, let's solve a one-dimensional transient heat conduction problem. So since it is one dimensional, so it's one dimension in space, and it is transient, so one dimension is time, so it is a two-dimensional problem. If you write down the energy balance equation, this becomes rho Cp del T is equal to K del square T del x square. Okay. So we can divide this, we can convert this as del T is equal to alpha del square T del x square, where alpha is called as the thermal diffusivity. So K by rho Cp, so it is known as the thermal diffusivity, and it will be having a unit of meter square per second. Okay. Now we will see that how this equation. Let us look into the boundary condition. At t is equal to 0, we have capital T is equal to T naught. At x is equal to 0, we are maintaining a temperature of T1, and at x equal to L, we are maintaining a temperature of T2. Okay. So there are x is equal to 0, we are maintaining a temperature. Another boundary located at x equal to L, we are maintaining another temperature. So therefore this is a complete problem with a Dirichlet boundary condition. And if you look into this problem, there are 3 sources of non-homogeneity are present in this problem. This is the one source of non-homogeneity is in the the initial condition, another is the boundary condition located at x equal to 0, another is the boundary condition located at x is equal to L. So now what we will do next, we will be looking into, we will be making it non-dimensional, and during the non-dimensional process we will be trying to minimize the number of non-homogeneities in the system, so that our rigidity of solution will be decreased. Let us define a non-dimensional temperature first. So we define a non-dimensional temperature T theta, let us say theta is equal to T minus T2 divided by T2. You can define anything. Theta is equal to T minus T1 divided by T1, theta is equal to T minus T2 divided by T naught. Okay. But the non-dimensionalization should be avoided in terms of initial temperature T minus T naught divided by T2 or T1, because if we make it non-dimensional with respect to by locating a difference with respect to initial temperature T minus T naught in the numerator, then that will make our initial condition to be 0, then it will make my problem ill-posed once again. So it is better to define the non-dimensional temperature in terms of temperature that is appearing in the boundary. So we define is as T minus T2 divided by T1 minus T2. So that will make my system one temperature at the location at x is equal to 0 to be 1, and in other location it will become 0. So in terms of this, let us say x star is equal to x by L. Okay. So now let us make the the system, let us see, del theta del t is equal to alpha del square theta L square del x star square. So, this becomes L square by alpha del theta del t is equal to del square theta del x star square. So, I get the right hand side is completely non-dimensional, the both numerator and denominator are non-dimensional. On the left hand side, numerator is non-dimensional, but the denominator is not. Therefore, T alpha by L square is my non-dimensional time. So, I write this as del theta del tau is equal to del square theta del x star square. So, now I expressed my boundary conditions in terms of non-dimensional variables. So, at t is equal to 0, that means at tau is equal to 0, at t is equal to 0 means at tau equal to 0, t is equal to t naught. So, therefore, we call it theta naught as t naught minus t2 divided by t1 minus t2. At x star, x is equal to 0 means x star equal to 0, at x star is equal to 0, theta is equal to, so this is theta is equal to this thing, we call this as theta 0, okay, and x star equal to 0, theta is equal to, t is equal to t1, so t1 minus t2 divided by t1 minus t2, so it will be 1, and at x star is equal to 1, we have theta is equal to t2, so t is equal to t2, so it will be equal to 0. So, this is now my governing equation. Now, if you can look into this governing equation and the boundary conditions, now instead of by the way we have defined theta, instead of having 3 non-homogeneity in the equation, now we are able to reduce one non-homogeneity, and now we are dealing with 2 non-homogenities located at time t is equal to 0 and at x star equal to 0, the theta equal to 1. Okay. So, these 2 non-homogeneities are present, but the non-homogeneity at x star is equal to 1 is already vanished. So, now we are dealing with 2 non-homogeneities in this system, and we will be define the problems into 2 sub problems considering 1 non-homogeneity at a time. Now, let us do that. So, I break down this problem into 2 sub problems, like theta is equal to theta 1 plus theta 2, where my theta 1 is the sub problem del theta 1 del tau is equal to del square theta 1 del x square, and at tau is equal to 0, I consider theta 1 is equal to theta naught, and at x is equal to 0, theta 1 is equal to 0, and x is equal to 1, theta 1 equal to 0. So, I force the non-homogeneity present at the location at the boundary x equal to 0 to be 0, considering one non-homogeneity at a time. Similarly, I define the sub problem theta 2 as del theta 2 del t del tau is equal to del square theta 2, so there will be x star here, del x star square, at tau is equal to 0. I force this non-homogeneity to vanish. So, theta 2 equal to 0, I keep the non-homogeneity at x is equal to 0, at x star is equal to 0. This will be theta 2 will be equal to will be 1. This non-homogeneity are intact, and at x star is equal to 1, it was already 0. So, theta 2 was 0. So, I break down this problem into 2 sub problems considering one non-homogeneity at a time. So, I keep the non-homogeneity in the initial condition, and I keep the non-homogeneity in the boundary condition in these 2 sub problems respectively. Now, if you look into this sub problem, you can identify that this is already a well posed problem. So, this is a well posed problem. On the other hand, this is an ill posed problem. And we have already solved this equation in the earlier class whenever we were talking about a parabolic partial differential equation which is OL post, but of the first kind, where we are talking about both boundary conditions to be homogeneous and Dirichlet. So these will be falling into that category, and we can directly write down the solution. So this will be 2 x star tau will be 2 theta naught summation of exponential minus n square pi square tau and sine n pi x star multiplied by 1 minus cosine n pi by n pi. So I write down the solution quite neatly. 2 theta naught n is equal to 1 to infinity 1 minus cosine n pi divided by n pi exponential minus n square pi square tau sine n pi x naught. Okay, this solution is known to us, so we write down this solution. Now next we will be looking into the solution of the ill-post problem, how to convert the ill-post problem into an well-post problem, and let us see how to do that. So let us look into the second sub problem, theta 2, where del theta 2 del tau is equal to del square theta 2 del x star square. At tau is equal to 0, my theta 2 is equal to 0. At x star is equal to 0, my theta 2 is equal to 1, and at x star is equal to 1, my theta 2 is equal to 0. So since there is one non-homogeneity at the boundary condition and the initial condition is homogeneous, as we have discussed earlier, we will be breaking down this problem into two sub problems once again, but one part in this case will be a steady state, will be time independent part, another part will be the transient part. So these will be divided into two parts, theta 2 tau, theta 2 t, which will be function of x star and tau both, plus theta 2 s, which will be a function of x star only. So if we substitute this over here, so del theta 2 del tau will be so this will be a mother problem for these two sub problems. So if you substitute this in the governing equation, this becomes del theta 2 t del tau, and this part the time derivative will be equal to 0. This will be del square theta 2 t del x star square plus d square theta 2 s d x star square. Now we will be collecting the similar terms and solve them separately. So we write down the governing equation of theta 2 s. Okay, theta 2 is s is d square theta 2 s d x star square is equal to 0, subject to the boundary condition at x star is equal to 0, theta 2 is equal to theta 2 s plus theta 2 t. I associate judiciously the non-homogeneous part with the spatial varying part. So therefore I will force the transient part, the boundary condition located at x star equal to 0 will be equal to 0. So therefore at x star is equal to 0, I write theta 2 s is equal to 1. So I associate the non-homogeneous part to this boundary condition, and at x star is equal to 1, I have theta 2 s is equal to 0. So that is the problem for theta 2 s, and let us look into the define the theta 2 t. It will be del theta 2 t del tau should be equal to del square theta 2 t del x star square, and as we have seen earlier that now my governing equation, the initial condition tau is equal to 0, my theta 2 t will be nothing but the minus of solution of steady state part, and at x star equal to 0, my theta 2 t equal to 0, because I have selected that, and x star is equal to 1, theta 2 t is equal to 0. So I made the boundary conditions of the transient part to be homogeneous and the initial condition to be non-homogeneous. Now this problem is a well posed problem, but before that I have to solve this equation. So if you really solve this equation, so this becomes solution of theta 2s will become C1x plus C2. If you write down the boundary condition at x equal to 0, theta 2s is equal to 1, so that will be giving you C2 is equal to 1. So theta 2 at x star is equal to 1, theta 2s equal to 0, so this becomes C1x plus 1, and this is at x equal to 1, so therefore C1 will be nothing but minus 1. So theta 2s will be nothing but 1 minus x. So this will be theta 2s is basically x minus 1. So C2 is equal to 1. So C2 is equal to 1. C1 is equal to minus 1. So it will be 1 minus x. This is fine. This is okay. So this is the steady state part of the solution. So the steady state part of solution is x minus will be taken inside. So it will be x minus 1. So now this is a well posed problem. Now this problem is now a well posed problem, because it is having a non-homogeneous initial condition and homogeneous boundary condition. If we again now look into the solution of theta 2t, theta 2t will be now del theta 2t del tau is equal to del square theta 2t del x star square. At tau is equal to 0, we have theta 2t is equal to x minus 1, and at x star is equal to 0 and 1, we have theta 2t is equal to 0. Again we have solved this problem, we have looked into this problem earlier. If you remember, again this is a problem of parabolic partial differential equation well posed problem of the first kind, where we have where we had the Dirichlet boundary conditions. So if you look into this problem, the problem is having the eigenvalues n pi, alpha n is equal to n pi, and eigenfunctions are the sine functions. Are sine function sine n pi x star. Okay. So if you look into the solution, the final solution will be theta to tau will be summation Cn exponential minus n square pi square tau sine n pi x star. Okay. So this Cn, the constant, has to be evaluated from the non-zero initial condition. So that means x minus 1 will be summation of Cn sine n pi x star, and we will be evaluating it by using the orthogonal property of the sine functions or eigenfunctions. So using the orthogonal properties of the eigenfunction, functions, let us see what we get. We will be getting Cn as sine square n pi x dx 0 to 1, and here it will be having 0 to 1 x minus 1 sine n pi x star dx star. These will be all stars, and these we have seen this will be half. So Cn is equal to half 0 to 1, so it will be 2. So half will become now 2 0 to 1 x minus 1 sine n pi x star dx star. All x's will be basically stars, non-dimensional, so one can integrate by parts. So this can be integrated, okay, to 0 to 1 x star sin n pi x star dx star minus 2 sin n pi x star dx star, and this will be, this has to be integrated by parts, and this will be a straightforward 1 minus cosine n pi by n pi 0 to 1. So we can get the explicit expression of Cn. Now we can get the complete solution of theta 2. Theta 2 will be theta 2s plus theta 2t. So theta 2s is nothing but 1 minus x star and plus theta 2t. Theta 2t will be basically the theta 2t is whatever we have obtained here. So that will be the expression of theta 2t, and Cn is obtained from this expression. Okay. So the complete solution in the overall problem becomes theta is equal to theta 1 plus theta 2, and theta 2 is basically two parts, theta 1 plus theta 2s plus theta 2t. So if we add up all subparts, then that will be giving you the complete solution of a practical problem in two-dimensional parabolic partial differential equation. So once we get that, then what we have learnt here, that if we have a well posed problem, any kind of boundary condition will be able to tackle that. So if it is a well posed problem, absolutely no issue. So one can go for a first kind of Dirichlet, whether you will be having a Dirichlet boundary condition, Neumann or Robin mixed, you will be able to handle. If you do not have a well posed problem, if it is ill posed problem, then you know how to convert it into an well posed problem, and can get by subdividing the problem into two sub problems once again. So we have come across an actual practical problem where it's basically one dimensional transient conduction problem we have solved, and we have seen that there are three sources of non-homogeneity of this problem originally. Then what we did, we took recourse to the non-dimensionalization of this problem judiciously. Then we were able to reduce the one source of non-homogeneity into, so that ultimately we have dealt with two sources of non-homogeneity. This problem was divided into two sub problems. One is theta 1 and theta 2, and theta 1 was considering one non-homogeneity at a time. So therefore one of this problem was a well posed problem. We have seen that, we have solved that problem earlier also. So we got the complete solution of that. The second sub problem was theta 2, which will be having a homogeneous initial condition. Then we have divided this problem into two sub problems once again. One is time dependent part, another is time independent part, and we have seen how the time dependent part will be, and the non-homogeneous boundary condition will be associated to the time independent part. So therefore the time dependent part, the boundary conditions have become homogeneous in space and non-homogeneous in time. So it has become an well posed problem. So an ill posed problem has been converted into the well posed problem, and individually we have looked into the solution of the steady state part and the transient part as well. Then we have constructed the complete solution of the original problem by adding up all three sub problems together, and then we got the complete analytical solution of a problem which will be of a parabolic partial differential equation of two dimension, which will be having lots of non-homogeneity in its boundary and initial conditions. So next what we will be doing is that we will be formulating a problem of three dimensional, but we will be looking into the well posed problems only, because we know how to handle the ill posed problem, we know how to tackle the ill posed problem by dividing the problem into sub problems, so that the ill posed problem can be converted into well posed problem. We can go ahead with the similar type of solution. So now we will be looking into a three dimensional problem, three dimensional parabolic partial differential equation. And well posed. So the governing equation will be like this: del u del t is equal to del square u del x square plus del square u del y square. So we will be having we will be constructing the initial and boundary condition at t is equal to 0, we are having u is equal to u naught, and all the 4 boundaries located at x is equal to 0 and x is equal to 1. We have u is equal to 0. All boundary conditions are Dirichlet and they are homogeneous at y is equal to 0 and y is equal to 1, u is equal to 0. Okay. So, this is a well posed problem. So, therefore, you will be having a non-zero initial condition and all 4 boundaries located at x equal to 0 and y, x equal to 1, y equal to 0 and y equal to 1, all are homogeneous and they will be equal to 0. So, again we will be going for a separation of variable type of solution, and we assume that the complete solution u is a function, is a product of 3 functions. One is entirely function of time, another is entirely function of x, third one is entirely function of y. Okay. So, we substitute this in the governing equation. What we get is x y divided by dt dt divided by 1 over okay, this will be x y dt dt plus t y d square x dx square plus t x d square y dy square. I divide both sides by x y t. So, we can separate the variables out, 1 over t dt by dt divided by 1 over x d square x dx square plus 1 over y d square y dy square. So, left hand side is a function of time entirely, the right hand side is a function of space, is a function of x and y. So, they are equal and they will be equal to some constant. Because of the shortage of time in this class, this will be taking a bit more time. So, I will be taking this problem up completely in the next class, and we will be solving a 2-dimensional parabolic, a 3-dimensional parabolic partial differential equation, which is a well posed problem in Cartesian coordinate system. Then we will be taking up another example of 4-dimensional parabolic partial differential equation, and which will be in Cartesian coordinate system. Then we will be taking up the parabolic partial differential equations in the spherical polar coordinate system and cylindrical polar coordinate system, as well as the elliptical partial differential equations as well as the hyperbolic partial differential equations. So, I will stop in here in this class. In the next class, I will be completing this problem of 3-dimensional parabolic partial differential equation, which is well posed and in Cartesian coordinate system. Thank you very much.